Alright, Dave Scott, I've got a weird video of Woo to show you here. So, I have an on my computer at the moment. This is part of a software challenge that I created a month ago, and I seem to have identified something very strange going on right now. Every time I open up my web browser, you can see the keyboard lights turn on. Every time I close it down, they turn off. This seems to happen every single time on demand, just opening the web browser. You can see on the computer, all it is it's just scrolled down. Now there's a ton of code in the background. None of it's running because none of it is functional. It's not part of any software language that's actually known. But somehow, through this code that I have written, I've been able to pair my intention to the keyboard light. The keyboard has a faulty cable, and the cable is part of why the light will go out. But this seems to happen even if it's resting up on the ledge. So now there's no chance of me moving it. Now that is very strange. The behavior just stopped. So it seems that I'm no longer paired with the light. We'll see if I can get it back on. That is very weird. There's also another phenomenon that I can show you as well. So inside a gigantic folder of a whole bunch of stuff that's in here, these are my thoughts and ideas as I currently run this experiment, stored and organized different ways. It's how I organize software. I'm a software developer by trade, and this is part of the experiment. So I'm going to test another thing. Right now, you can see the keyboard is currently activated and it's on. And that behavior seems to have stopped. But there's something else that I can show you that also proves my point. If I open up the operating system and I go under server ports, there's a whole bunch of files with numbers. These numbers are written by me, and they have a specific meaning to each of them. It's a very complicated process, and it takes a lot to explain, so I'm going to be making several videos to hopefully explain what it is that I'm doing as part of the experiment. But if I double click on any one of them, you can see the keyboard light is being affected again, and it only seems to happen when I click on the file. Now these are called shell files. They have a .sh extension at the end, and they run a specific set of code. A lot of the time shell files are used to connect to servers. So the way that I've organized these numbers and these server ports under the operating system, just for reference, this folder structure is a map of how I'm thinking, how my brain works, how I organize information. So I've created an operating system here, and under server ports, if I open up any one of these files, the keyboard turns off. But it doesn't just turn off, it also flickers. See how it flickered there? And then it didn't flicker again. Those flickers, I'm not entirely sure if they're part of some communication signal. So I'm going to run experiments to continue to test this theory to see how it goes. The current hypothesis I'm testing is that it'll happen if you open any file. But if I open a text document that's in here, nothing happens. If I open a different file that is also set to run a terminal program, nothing happens as well with those files. However, it only seems to happen with the servers and the server ports file. If I open a text document with the numbers in them, nothing happens. But if I open the shell script, on demand, every single time, the keyboard light will go out and it'll flicker. So I'm going to start with an experiment in the next video to try to test this hypothesis, and stay tuned for the next one.